So we are on step three. And step three, we are going to talk about detoxing your mind so that we can have instant brilliance. We want to prepare the mindset so that we can create the most beautiful products, the greatest level of creativity, and tap into our brilliant mindset, right? So, in order to do that, again, we need to detox. And part of that detoxing is doing what we call a brain dump. Now, if you're not familiar with brain dumping is basically taking everything that's going on up in here that's kind of tossing and turning and taking it and just kind of shifting it to a sheet of paper, maybe shifting it to something that's on your computer or whatever that is, so that you can focus. Because what's happening is all these thoughts that's going on in your brain, whether that's the grocery list that you need to create, your task list that you need to do, the doctor's appointments that you need to schedule, all of these items are keeping you from being able to focus or hone in on the things that you need to focus on to produce at the level that you need to in order to accomplish your goals, and be present for your business. So the first thing we want to do is grab a piece of paper or a journal or something like that and take all those things out, put them somewhere else so that it's written down. You don't have to try to remember that. You don't have to try to remember the grocery list. You don't have to remember the task list. And we're going to be more intentional with creating those things. Again, if it's a grocery list, write your grocery list down. If you're not going to, don't want to write it down, guess what you can use? Other tools, whether that's Google, whether that's Alexa, there's many options for you. Same thing with the task list. You can write them down, you can put them in your computer, you can put them in your phone, you can set reminders, you can use Google, you can use Alexa, and you can tell Google and Alexa to remind you at a set time so that you can go and do those things at the appointed time that you have set on your calendar. Now, if you are trying to set appointments, whether it's a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment, again, you can do the same exact thing. Now, that's going to help you because if you are sitting down trying to remember, oh my gosh, I got to set this doctor's appointment or this dentist appointment, again, you're not focusing and you're just constantly checking the clock, or checking the time, waiting for the doctor or the dentist to open. Where if you wrote it down and set a timer or a tasker, then when that time is appropriate, whether the doctor opens at 10 o'clock, the timer is set, and you're like, okay, now it's 10 o'clock and I'm going to actually, it's the time for me to deal with that. Then you shift at 10, you intentionally make the phone call, and then you can shift back to doing your work. So again, this brain dumping allows for you to focus on the task at hand. So that's the purpose for that. Very easy process, very easy concept. Now, if you don't like the term brain dumping, then you can do what works for you, as long as this is going to cause you to do something purposeful and intentional. Journaling is another means of brain dumping, and you can actually just call it journaling rather than, again, brain dumping if that does not work for you. Now, with journaling, you want to kind of focus on dealing more so with feelings and emotions rather than lists. Um, and if you're going to be focusing on things like that stronger, deeper feelings or emotions that are cluttering your mind, this is an opportunity for you to kind of express more. Therefore, you are writing more what we call longhand. So, list is very shorthand. And for this type of journaling, it is longhand. So, some of the things that you would focus on with this could be feelings about a family situation. Maybe it was an argument or something with a loved one that's keeping you distracted. Well, if you write all those feelings out, then you can shift back to focusing on the task at hand. The idea here again is to write longhand unedited. This is not for someone to see. You're not getting graded on it. And so there's no judgment here, right? We're not checking for grammar or anything like that. It is completely unedited. And your goal is to try to get out at least 3 pages unedited. Now, if you go longer than 3 pages, wonderful. That means you're really getting in touch with your feelings and you're clearing your brain. The whole point is that it provokes, it clarifies, comforts, and prioritizes the day at hand. That's what it allows you to do. This is not something that you want to overthink. There's no reason for you to overthink this process. Just put 3 pages of anything on your paper. And again, if you don't want to write it, you can always type it out. Once you do that, then you stop and then you complete the process again tomorrow. Every day is a new day. And with every day, you start 3 new pages. That's simple. Now, when it comes to distractions and clearing your mind, for entrepreneurs, one of the greatest challenges we have is making sure that we have everything we need in order to start our day. Now, we want to make sure we have everything we need in one place. This means gathering everything ahead of time. Some people some people focus best when they have prepped their area or prep their space before they start doing their deep work. So this means kind of like rounding up your supplies, getting your self-care tools, gathering all of your documents, and eliminating all of your interruptions. Now, gathering your tools are basically again, your supplies you need, whether it's your planners, your agendas, you need to pull up anything in your Dropbox or Google Drive, all of those things. Self-care tools, very self-explanatory. You're talking about your water bottles, your favorite brain boosting essential oils, um, headphones if you need them, snacks, blue blocker glasses. And then if you are going to be doing any type of creating, whether it's documents or photos or social media content or anything like that, you want to open up those documents because once you start digging, you start getting distracted looking at other items. You don't want to start cleaning up stuff. So open up those items ahead of time because it eliminates all those distractions and you will only focus on what is in front of you. When it comes to taking care of distractions, again, whether it's making sure the kids are doing what they need to do, all the way down to your phones or even your puppies. Or your pets or your fur babies. So for me, for instance, I have a dog and I have to, before I sit down, I make sure that I let him outside because once I sit, lo and behold, here he comes and he wants to sit in my lap and he wants to whimper because he wants that attention. And so once I get into that deep work, it's very, very difficult. So I make sure I get him his exercise, get him outside, do all the things that he needs before I sit down. So he's worn out and then he'll just sit here while I work until it's time for my break. And then we kind of do that all over again. This is not a time for you to go ahead and take care of laundry, do Instacart orders, or anything like that, because again, those will cause you disruptions. And I say that because it may seem like a good idea for you to order your Instacart so that it'll arrive while you're doing by the time you finish your deep work. But the truth is that 9 times out of 10, it's going to disrupt you because it might just show up just before you finish your deep work or while you're in the middle of your deep work, which means you now have to deal with it unless you set some parameters. So you want to ensure that all of these things are done, no interruptions, all the way down to getting your water, going to the bathroom, all of that, because you want to prepare yourself for brilliance. So, to help yourself prepare, go ahead and create a checklist of items that you need to do so that you can prepare to do your deep work. All the way down to, can you brain dump? Is that going to be best for you to journal? Do you need to create task lists, a combination thereof, or round up your supplies, your self-care tools, your documents, and eliminate disruptions. Again, to detox your mind so that you can focus and prepare yourself for brilliance.